Well, unfortunately, I didn't get to the movies this weekend with the mix of nothing of extreme note came out this weekend, mixed with it's very cold out and I have a cold. I decided to peruse iTunes and discovered a film that actually came out last weekend, and it's only in select theaters here in New York, but conveniently I could just rent it on iTunes. So I did. So here's my review of that movie. The Last 5 Years, starring Anna Kendrick and Jeremy Jordan. So this movie is a musical about a failed relationship, and it starts off with the ending of that relationship, and then the rest of the movie goes back and shows various parts of it, the good and the bad, and we see why this relationship didn't necessarily work out. But apparently this is actually a musical that I assume was on Broadway. I don't know anything about the actual musical. And as a movie, it's pretty good. I was back and forth with this a bit. There were definitely things I liked about it. First off, I really liked the directing and the cinematography. The film looked really good. For a musical, it still felt pretty real, even though everyone was singing. You got to know the characters pretty well, even though it was a non-linear storyline, so that was interesting. I do like when movies and stories in general about relationships take a more realistic approach instead of the, oh, like it ends up happy in the end, and even though they had issues, it all works out, because usually that's not how it happens. And I like that it's a general reflection of, oh, like we know this relationship didn't work out, let's go back and see why. Now, the parts that I were kind of iffy on was kind of what we looked back on. Kind of wish there was a little bit more. Honestly, I wish I saw more of her perspective. You see a lot of his, especially towards the end, and you see hers, a fair amount of hers, but especially at the end, I wanted to see more from her, but that doesn't happen. Another thing is that the songs were really long. Maybe that was just me, but it's a relatively short movie. It's like an hour and a half. But the songs just felt like they went on and on. That brings me to the other point that I just feel like this translates better on the stage. Obviously, I don't know that for sure because I haven't seen it on the stage, but I assume that it does. There are some musicals and plays that are just better performed in front of you instead of in a movie. I also feel like it will have a very specific audience. Like if you're into musicals, you'll probably like this, or at least you'll enjoy it more than people who generally don't watch musicals. Overall, it is a decently interesting reflection on a relationship, especially one that lasted 5 years, but at the same time I wish there was a bit more substance to it, especially in terms of what ends up ending their relationship. I feel like there should have been more reason as to why that happened. At times it feels like it doesn't give enough for us to be completely invested in them and their relationship. In the end, The Last 5 Years is a decent effort. It has its flaws, but overall, especially if you're into musicals, you'll probably enjoy it. So I'm going to give it a meh and a half. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's good, but has its issues. But, again, if you're into musicals, check it out. Why not? So have you guys seen it? And if you have, what did you think about it? Okay, guys, that's it for me. Hope you're having a great day, and I will see you soon. Toodles.